Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching my videos. My name is Da Vinci Jeremy. I'm here in Dubai. I used to live in Chile. Thinking about going back. I don't know. I'm having fun here in Dubai. But who knows? We'll see what the future brings. Man, I just love the news rants, man, because, there's always something to rant about. And we're going to rant about, how the dollar is just the supreme currency that is a destructive currency, right? We're going to talk about, whether or not you should have spent your stimulus check on food and groceries, or maybe you know what, you live off ramen noodles and get some Bitcoin. I don't know. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about of course, right, what's going on in the world and why you need to have some Bitcoin, right? All right, I'm excited about today's show, right? I hope you are too. This show is recorded from in front of a live audience, right? They're having fun. They also get to ask me questions, and if you want to ask me questions, you can do so by joining davincej15.com and join our Telegram group. It's a small fee. You get to learn you get to check out all the trades and so forth, and it's really cool. We have lots of fun people in that group. All right. Before we continue on to the show, I wanted you all to know that this is not financial advice. Please do your own research before putting any money into the market. And let's do it. I always like to start off with the crypto bubbles because it's just a beautiful thing here. Look at all this green. And the green's are priced in Bitcoin. And you can profit from that if you just follow the little old lady strategy. The little old lady strategy is right here. Absolutely free. Check it out. Okay. Once again, this is what, Lee, Crypto Mainly in the group, some of the trades that he's given to our groups. And if you haven't been seeing any of these kind of profits, what are you waiting for? You need to come on down and join us all. Okay. Let's start off with the first bit of news of today, right? Central banks were born from the war machine and government's overreach. That's not true. That is categorically false. Okay. Let's just say you came up with central banking on your own before anybody else did. That's not true. Central banking exists well before well before Jesus Christ. But let's just pretend that happened, right? You came, I got this idea. I could just print the money. I'll be rich. Okay, you have a problem, right? Can't just print the money and be rich, right? People got to be able to accept that. So, dude, how can I print money and get people to accept it? What do you think about that? I got it. I'll get the government to say that this is acceptable. That's it. But wait a minute. How do I get that government to accept that? Oh, I got an idea. We can create a war somewhere, right? Get them to go to war someplace, and they need cash for that. And I'll come over and I'll say, I got the idea. Got your back, dog. I got your back. I'm gonna print the money for you, lend it to you, right? And then you'll be able to do whatever you got to do. All you have to do is give me the rights to print money. That's how it was born. Okay, that's how the game began. Okay, and they tried to do that to George Washington during the Civil War. Right, they gave him absorbent interest rates, but then they said, "Hey, you know what? We can reduce those rates. Reduce those rates a lot if you give us a central bank." And and he was like, gave them the finger and created his own money, printed money. They were not too happy about that, but whatever. All right. So 50 years since the gold standard ended and Bitcoin is needed more than ever. Yes, it is. It is so sad that it has destroyed our society ever since we come off of the gold standard. We're seeing more fraud, more crime at the highest levels. Let me give you an example of that if you don't believe it. Bank of New York Mellon. They were clearly caught in the cookie jar, clearly caught stealing, and because they couldn't put them in jail, they couldn't close the company because it collapsed the whole financial system. They decided to make what they were doing, the stealing, legal. Okay, so that's an example of how paper money is just basically exactly what Washington here said, right? Paper money has an effect in your state that it ever will have to ruin commerce, oppress the honest. Any honest people feel oppressed out there, right? You can't really do anything if you want to just be honest, right? You gotta cheat, you gotta be dishonest in order to survive. Yeah, okay, right? And open door for every species of fraud and injustice. How'd that brother know? Doesn't take a genius. You just have to read history, right? It's all written, right? It's all been done before, right? It's been done many times. It's been done to death, okay? This whole system, done to death. It just hasn't been done on a global scale as our current system is. For the first time in history, it's done, our current financial system is being done on a global scale. Usually it would just be one area, one country, right? And then they'd collapse really fast. But now it's worldwide. So yeah, but we're the end game is always the same, right? And if you don't believe that, well, then you must believe that somehow this time you're not going to die, right? Because you don't have any historical record of you ever dying. So that would mean you're going to live forever. Oh my god. Wow. So I cracked myself up. Okay. Bitcoin is the successor to violence. Yes, it is. When you have hard money and you have fair money, there's less wars. Wars are not going to go away because that's how central bankers decide to get slide their printer money into the system, right? They create the wars, right? And you could, if you read the history of our carefully and read between the lines, and some of them have admitted it, some of them have not, that they created the wars that we've had throughout the years, the banksters basically. So it becomes our whole currency system becomes so you want to let me give you an example. If you don't believe that, Saddam Hussein decided to get off the dollar, and we saw what happened to him, right? And you're like, no, that's just one case, okay? Gaddafi, right? He blew up an airplane with lots of Americans. He gets a pass, right? You get a pass on that one. But then as soon as he went onto a gold standard, oh no, dog, no, you going crazy now. You going crazy. And what happened to him? Well, I'll let your politicians explain.
So that is the land of unconfirmed.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
Yes, that's right. They just, acted like the cold, callous people they are, right? They're politicians. They came, they saw, he died. Okay, whatever. Yeah, that's how it is. Okay. $1,200 a stimulus check would be worth $765 if you use it to buy Bitcoin. Yes, it was an obvious thing. I mentioned it in several people's videos who said, what are you going to do with your stimulus checks? And I did a little bit of a message, and yeah, it's pretty much ignored, right? I find that, you can find lots of videos like that. And I even mentioned this guy. Because the funny thing is, right, I know he probably didn't do this deliberate. He probably just, because based on his historical videos, he was into Bitcoin well before. But I was wondering why he didn't mention it in this video. And I probably think, and I'm guessing, you'd have to ask him, his audience was not ready for it at that time. But that would have been the right thing to say as one of the investments to hold is Bitcoin with your stimulus. Did not mention that at all. I don't know if any of his ideas, his investment ideas, actually caused you to double your money. But yeah, you could see one investment idea did extremely well, and if you went with Ethereum, you went even better. You're not too late to become wildly wealthy with Bitcoin. Yes, you're not too late. You just need a small amount of Bitcoin. I think about 0.28 Bitcoin will get you in the top 1%. I think it's a 1%. 0.28 BTC to USD is right now priced at $13,000. I know it's a lot, for almost $14,000. I know it's a lot of money. But yeah, that will get you that amount of money in 10 years will make you the top 10% of the wealthiest people on the planet. Why is that? Because Bitcoin's so limited, and that's assuming that all 21 million or at that point about 20 million, close to 20 million just over 20 million will be mined, and so. Yeah, that's assuming all of that 20 million is going to be in circulation, and that's not going to be the case. So far, anywhere from 3 to 7 million Bitcoins is estimated to be permanently lost. So yeah, it's going to be even 0.28 is probably going to be the wrong number. So you'll be actually even wealthier, probably maybe the top 5%. Top 0.5% of the wealthiest on the planet. So yeah, there it is. It's kind of scary, right? Kind of interesting too. So make sure you got some Bitcoin. Right? That's another reason why you want to make sure you got it. Another cool thing to, point out that why Bitcoin we're still early here. They're just like, this is just the beginning phase. Coinbase to invest 500 million in Bitcoin and speculates on altcoins and speculative altcoins. So now they're like, I think maybe we should hold some of these altcoins and cryptocurrencies. I know we sell them and provide people ways to buy and sell them, but maybe we should hold a little bit. they're just cluing in on that. Oh damn! Yeah. So you're early. Yeah. Right. For the big move. Okay. The second largest mortgage lender in the U.S. expects to accept Bitcoin by year's end. The CEO says. Okay. So yeah, there's another example, right? That this is slowly becoming money. It can't be stopped. Why? Because all it has, if the government's really wanted to slow this down, and which I find it fascinating that they haven't done this yet, is say, hey, you can't accept this as a payment. It's illegal. Now, that's a little harder to do in the United States, but it is possible in lots of other countries. The European Union, it'd be a lot easier. Because you can't vote in the people who makes your laws. So it's a whole lot easier there. So I'm a little surprised that it hasn't been done in the EU yet. But yeah, Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see if that passes in the next little while. All right. Somebody's asked me, like, to please explain the super cycle again, the possible BTC target of 1.2 million. Okay. As you know, right, Bitcoin has gone deflationary. At the same time, the US dollar has gone inflationary, super inflationary, at 25% right now, running at 25 and still maintaining that 25% growth in the money supply annually, right? And we talked about how this was going to happen, what was going to happen in 12 to 18 months after they started firing up the printing press. We said we'll see this start to show up in prices in 12 to 18 months. Now, both Bitcoin and the dollar, went their separate ways around the same time. And yeah, so now, right, we're seeing both Bitcoin go higher and we're seeing the dollar, right, go lower in, like, even their false numbers of inflation of 5%. It was really 25%, but fine. Neither here nor there. People are noticing it and people are doing something about it. Now, once you decide to do something about inflation and you start to act, does that mean the inflation numbers will stay level at 5%, at their 5% imaginary number? Right? No, because what you're going to do is you're going to overcompensate, right? And so, yeah, you can see how this can, like, roll into like a big snowball effect. And that's where my thesis comes from. Not only that, there was also a chart pattern which I can't seem to figure out where I put it, and that had a target of $1.2 million as well. So yeah, that's where I'm getting it. So looking forward to seeing if that comes through, because man, it seems like a really far-fetched, right, number. But heck, back when Bitcoin was $200, I saw a $20,000 target for Bitcoin, and I was like, no, I'm not even gonna mention that. It just seems ridiculous. Right? And did we hit it? Yeah, that was 100x from $200. Yeah, exactly. And this is like what? I mean, yeah, we were down at $10,000. That'd be like, another 100x, more than 100x from there, and we were a lot lower than that. So yes, I can see how you can be skeptical, but the problem is they're printing too much money. They're going buck wild. They've lost their minds, and they don't care anymore. And so yeah, that's going to have an effect. It's going to have a detrimental effect on the dollar, and I don't know what they're going to do once confidence is lost in the dollar and hyperinflation kicks in. It's not going to be pretty. I can tell you that much, because it never is. All right, so that's why you got to own Bitcoin, right? Because Bitcoin's real, Bitcoin's here to stay, and you need to be a part of it. Thanks for watching.